Module 2, Topic 1, Review. Number 1, draw the part of a circle that is described. So it says radius OE. So we're going to start at point O, then we're going to go over to point E. That's a little thicker than I wanted. And we're going to label that point on the circle E. Number 2, part B, draw chord AB. So a chord can look like that. And just make sure to label the endpoints, A and B. Draw central angle HOI. So we're going to start by labeling point H, go to O, and then just pick a destination for I. And this is our central angle. Draw secant GH. So a secant is like a chord, but it extends outside the circle. And just make sure to label 2 points, G and H, and that should be fine. Number 2, classify each arc as a major arc, minor arc, or a semicircle. So, and this is an arc symbol, it's supposed to be a smooth arc, but I know on Microsoft Word that doesn't exist. So we're going to start at N, and we're going to go to P, and then we're going to go to Q. What kind of arc is that? It is a semicircle. Part B, we have arc HI. So I'm just going to start at letter H and then go to I. As you can see, that is a smaller arc, so we call that a minor arc. And then part C, this is arc. Again, this little rooftop looking thing is supposed to be curved. FHI. So we're going to start at letter F, curve around to H, curve around to I. Go in the same order, and as you can see, that's more than half the circles. That's a major arc. And then lastly, we've got arc NP. So start at the letter N, go all the way till you get to P. And since there's only 2 letters, we know that's a minor arc, even without looking at the diagram. Identify each angle as an inscribed angle or central angle. Part A says angle, U-R-E. Angle, U-R-E. Some of you still are using segment symbol for angle. That is an angle symbol. So we're going to start at letter U. Make your way to angle, letter R rather, point R, and then go to E. Follow the order that is listed. Don't make up something else. Any hoozles, that is an inscribed angle. Oops, sorry about that. So that's an inscribed angle. All right. I'll just go to C instead of going to B because I feel like it. M-O-U. And again, that's an angle symbol in front. Angle. M-O-U. Well, as you can see, it stops at the center. So the vertex is at the center. So that's a central angle. Part B, angle ZOM. Again, that is a central angle. Then we have ZKU, angle ZKU. Start at the Z, go to K, go to U. So this angle does not have a vertex or corner in the middle. It goes to the side of the circle. So that's an inscribed angle. Determine the measure of the indicated central angle, inscribed angle, or arc. So we have the measure of arc AC, so AC. And it should be the exact same as the central angle that intercepts it. So that's going to be 85 degrees. MO, so MO, again, it should be the same as the angle it intercepts. So this angle here is going to be 360 minus 221 because the entire circle is 360. And so we get 139 degrees. So that's 139 degrees, which means so is this. IJK. This time it's an angle. This time it's an angle. The way we read this is the measure of angle IJK, and that's how we read it aloud. So since this side is 245, we're just going to subtract from 360 again. Okay, and we get 115. So this is 115, which means this is 115 degrees. What is the measure of arc AC? So the way we read this is the measure of arc AC. So that's how we read that. So, it's not asking us, it's telling us. The measure of arc AC is 56 degrees. And we need to figure out this inscribed angle for which this arc intercepts. So the intercepted arc is always going to be half the measure. I'm sorry, not the intercept. The inscribed angle is always going to be half the measure of the intercepted arc. So just divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2. And that should be all you need to do. So the measure of angle ABC is 28 degrees. Okay, we have the measure of angle RST is 70 degrees. So we're trying to figure out how many degrees is this arc. So since we're going the opposite way this time, we're going from angle to arc, we're going from inscribed angle to arc, we're going to double it instead of halving it. So that should be 140 degrees for the arc. Next, we see that XZ is 67 degrees. And so in order to get the measure of XYZ, which would be XYZ, this angle right here, we're going to have to take half. So when we divide by 2, we get 33.5. And that is that. What is the triangle inequality theorem? Well, for 3 segment lengths, A, B, and C. We'll do that. If A plus B is greater than C, then the 3 segments can form a triangle. So if you had this triangle here, and this was A, this was B, this was C. You know what, I'll put it in the usual order, A, B, C. If you add these two together, it should be a greater number than this number. If not, it's not going to form a triangle. A triangle has two sides of length 17 and 20. What are two possible whole number lengths for the third side? So we have a length of 17. We have another length of 20. And we're trying to figure out how long can the third side be. So if we remember this over here, we can either add 17 and 20 together, and that number has to be greater than C. So that would be what, 37? And so 37 has to be greater than C. Or we could have 17 plus something would be greater than 20. And obviously 17 plus 3 would be 20, so our something is going to have to be greater than 3. Okay, so that's the idea. All right, so a quick way to determine this, I basically just did it, but just a quick way to determine it is to take the two numbers in question, add them together, and then subtract them. Of course, put the bigger number first. And then whatever answer you get is, well, rather, the answers that you get, you have to pick something in between. Okay, so the third side must be between 3 and 37. So just pick two numbers, okay? So pick any two numbers, any two whole numbers, okay, that fall between 3 and 37. All right, number 7, can the sides of a triangle have lengths 6.5, 3.4, and 8.4? So let's check it out. If we add these together, we get 9.9. Is that greater than 8.4? Yes, it is. So the answer is yes. Actually, let me do this right. Sorry, switch to cursive. Number 8. Can the sides of a triangle have lengths 7 and 9? So try this one on your own. Number 9, a triangle has two sides of length 5 and 5. What are two possible whole number lengths for the third side? So just do what we did for number 6. Okay, so just refer to number 6. All right, what are the three undefined terms? Points, lines, planes. Or point, line, plane, I should say, singular. Identify the hypothesis, conclusion, and converse of the following statement. For the hypothesis is what comes after the word if. And then the conclusion what comes after the word then. I included the words if and then. Sometimes they are included, sometimes they're not. So, but you have the idea. Then the converse would simply be switching those two. So we begin with if two angles are supplementary, and then they have a sum of 180 degrees. I'll just put there. All right, so for this, the conditional statement, all over the place. The conditional statement is if P, then Q. So again, if P, then Q. A converse will simply flip. If Q, then P. Go ahead and try number 12. Number 13, find the measure of the given angles. So this is an exterior angle. The 162 is exterior. So if you recall from notes, if you add a remote interior angle to another remote, or I should say to the other remote, the second one, it should equal the exterior angle. All right, so basically 101 degrees plus something is going to give us 162 degrees. All right, so you could just do simple subtraction. You could write an equation and solve it that way. And we should be good to go. So this is 61 degrees, and that would be FJK. And then FKJ, which is over here, should be the supplement of 162 because they are on the same line. So since the line is 180, we can just subtract from 180. All right, so there you go. FKJ is 18 degrees. Find the measure of the given angles. Go ahead and try number 14. Number 15, draw and label the given information, determine the given angle. And I'm sorry, there is some information missing here. These are cyclic quadrilaterals. So yes, I'm going to do that. Just kind of randomness. Okay, so we're gonna have A, B, C, D, and I should label around the shape. So I shouldn't be like, this is A, this is B, this is C, this is D. Don't do that. We gotta label it in order around the shape. So it says that angle B is 75 degrees, and now we need to figure out the measure of angle D. It's important that these are cyclical or cyclic quadrilaterals because that means the opposite angles are supplementary. So opposite angles are supplementary. Or cyclic quadrilaterals, basically quadrilaterals in a circle. So if that's, if If this is 75 degrees, then this one over here is going to be the complement, the supplement of that. So just subtract from 180. So supplementary means part plus part equals 180. So if we just take 180 and take away 75, that's going to be 105 degrees. So the measure of angle D equals 105 degrees. All right, go ahead and try number 16. All right, construction portion is on the next page. I will do this part of the video on paper. Bye.